Loud? Perfect. Thanks, Dave. And this is where I really can't stand seeing myself, so I have to shut myself off. Isn't that terrible? um, okay, my name is Sue Booth, and I'm an executive with Zinzino, and thank you for joining us tonight. And you've been invited along by someone who feels that you'd be interested in what we have as our product offering, and they feel that it may be beneficial for you and your health. So as I say, my name is Sue Booth, and I am so excited about this opportunity. And it's coming up a year since I was first shown this by Dave Ives, who is my sponsor. And when Dave asked us to look at this, first of all, he asked us to look at the marketing plan, because Nigel's very analytical, my husband's very analytical, and he was just really good. It's really good. But he said, why would anyone want to buy oil? And then he asked the question, and he said, do you take an omega-3 supplement? And we went, yeah, both of us did. How do you know it's working? Well, that was the thing, we didn't. Anyway, excuse me, I'm going to have to clear my throat. This is a wellness revolution that's really catching people's attention, not only in the UK and Europe, but on a global level. So I'm excited to take you through tonight. And she says, oh, please tell me this is not, it's not going to work on that one there. Right. Now it should work. Aha. Why is it necessary for people to supplement nowadays? Well, we've got the 2 times Nobel Prize winner, Linus Pauling, and he famously declared that nearly all diseases can be traced back to that nutritional deficiency. And so really, what are we looking at here? So it's about the way we eat. We're eating fast foods, we're eating processed foods, and unfortunately, UK has got one of the worst figures, or we're number 1. But it's not a good number 1. We're number 1 in the amount of processed foods we eat within the UK. So 50% of our shopping on a monthly basis or a weekly basis is processed foods, highly processed foods, and that's really not healthy for us and our family's health. It's also the fresh foods that we eat are grown in quite often deficient soils, deficient of minerals. So that's the zero mineral content in it. And then farmers are now over farming, in my view. And whereas my uncle used to have a farm, and he used to have a crop growing one year, and then the next year it would be fallow and lay fallow, so that it could actually re-energize itself. The soil re-energizes itself. But unfortunately, what they're doing now is they're putting fertilizers on our crops to make sure that they grow and they look fantastic, and they grow very quickly and very robustly, if you like. But the problem being is that they're actually quite deficient of soil, of the goodness in the soil, but also the fact that they try to express extend the crop season. So they'll do it 2 or 3 times sometimes, and then the soil's not getting a chance to recover. And then we've got exposures to toxin from pollution. It's going to be one of those nights tonight, I can feel it. So the pollution that's in our air, etc., and there's a lot less of it at the moment, I'm sure you'll all agree, but we get an awful lot of toxins. You know, one of the things I always found that when I ever travelled into London, if I go on the tube, I would end up with all these contaminants in my nose. So, you know, you blow your nose after you've been on the tube or you've been in town, and it comes black. It's horrid. It's not very pleasant. So you're ingesting all those toxins from pollution. And then we've got the stress of everyday life and life as we know it. But so people are trying to take supplements to alleviate that problem as well. And we know more about science and technology. They're developing at such fast rates, and probably the fastest in human history. And we know more about nutrition and wellness than ever before, because we've got it all at the kind of a press of a button. We can Google anything now, and you will get a myriad of different reports about what's good, what's better, what's this, what's that. And so people look through those, and feel that they're educating themselves, but quite often they're not taking the advice that maybe some of these reports have given. So we're finding that our health challenges are still increasing, and at quite a bad rate. So we've got diabetes, type 2 diabetes rates doubling every 10 years. Now that's quite a frightening statistic, because that is down to lifestyle. It's down to diet and lifestyle. So why is this constantly happening? So this is the cell. Now we're made up of 100 trillion cells, and they're constantly being renewed, a bit like everything in our body. Our body is such a clever machine. And so our blood changes every 120 days, and our cells also change. And the membrane around that, each of those cells, is a combination of omega-6s and omega-3s, and these are their essential fatty acids. And that membrane should be flexible, it should be permeable. And that would allow, as you see on the left here, the nutrients to enter the cell, and then anything that needs to be excreted out of the cell is allowed to come out. So the waste product comes out. So that's a healthy cell. And that's when the right balance of omega-6 and omega-3 is for the person. But if your cell is unhealthy and you're eating way too many omega-6s and too little omega-3s, then the shell becomes tight and hard and it becomes completely impermeable. So it's allowing in nothing. So anything, even if you've got the perfect diet and the perfect nutrition, that's not getting in. It's not doing your cells any good. And only a fraction of that waste that is necessary to kind of cleanse out of the cell is allowed to come out. So that's really an unhealthy cell. So the results show that we're, 95% of us are in danger. And I actually heard the founder, Orion Cell's wife, last night, Hilda, saying that we're actually 97% in danger. So those percentages are increasing constantly. And again, it's because of the things that we are eating. It's our lifestyle, it's our diet. And we know that people are busy nowadays. And if you're working a job or maybe two jobs, then you're grabbing a sandwich, you're grabbing something fast so that you can alleviate your hunger, but that's not always the best thing to do for your health. And we eat a lot of the wrong things as well, completely. So all those processed foods that we were talking about. We don't eat enough of the oily fish. We don't eat enough of the seeds and the vegetables and the avocados, which I have to say is my favorite fruit, so I love it. We eat way too many omega-6, a lot less of omega-3s, and that imbalance of omega-6 and omega-3s is what's causing so much inflammatory markers to increase within our, so many inflammatory markers to increase in our systems. So we've got these low levels of omega-3s because we're not eating enough of the fish and the flaxseed and the vegetables and the avocados, and perhaps we're consuming far too few of the polyphenols, the antioxidants in your diet. And we probably have low levels of vitamin D3. And in the Northern Hemisphere where we are, that is quite frequent. We've had a fantastic past 6 weeks because pollution has disappeared and we've got lovely clear skies, but we've gone back to grey skies again today. So the vitamin D from the sunlight, you need that in your system. And it's one of the things that I really enjoy, just getting sunlight on my system, on my face, on my body, on my face, just to make sure. It just makes me feel so much better. And there must be a reason for it, I think. So where do you fall? Do you fall into that danger zone? So that danger zone is the bit underneath the sea surface, as you can see in this picture. And where you want to be, or where you should be in ratio, is around about 3:1, which is the top. And that would be a perfect world if you were 3:1 or just a little bit lower. You don't need to go quite so low as 1:1. Someone was saying about being 1:1 the other day. And I'm just saying that's actually not so good, because every time you hit yourself or bump yourself, you'd be bruising, and if you have an injury, you may bleed. So we don't want that to happen, but we want to be in perfect harmony really with what we should be. So 3 of 6 and 1 of omega-3. So people who take an omega-3 supplement are on the average around about 7 to 1. Now, I've been taking an omega-3 supplement for over 30 years, so I assumed I was going to be in between the 3 to 1 and the 7 to 1. I'll share with you my figures in a little while. But one of the things that shocked me was that how high the ratio was for the average person who doesn't take an omega-3 supplement in the UK and all over Europe. Now, this in itself is 15 to 1, so that's in the red zone. That's not good. But they're a lot higher. So you may fall, if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you may fall in a much higher bracket than that. And I've seen vegetarians at 53, 40, 29 to 1, so much higher. So they're not able to eat enough of those omega-3s within their diet, so it's necessary to supplement. So as of April 2020, and we're nearly at the end of April, we've performed over 538 tests, so pretty well almost 500,000. And it was alluded to yesterday on a call that we have actually reached the 500,000, but the website hasn't been updated yet. So the tests are done. We have a blood spot test, which I have here in front of me. Fantastic little test, lovely packet. So everything you need is in there to do that test. And that means that you can establish your, with your blood spot test, you can establish your ratios of 6s and 3s, omega-6s and 3s, as well as a few other essential fatty acids as well. So that's done by an independent analytical service called Vitas Labs, and they're based in Oslo, and they're part of the Oslo University. So, and they do not only our tests, they do a huge amount of tests for organizations like the World Health Organization, different universities. So it's very, very well respected. And we actually have the highest ratio of test results for omega-6s and 3s, and that's on a global level. So that's quite an accolade, really, and can be very, very interesting because it can analyze where those people who are deficient are within Europe and all over the world. So before the test, only 5% of people will have that ratio of 3 to 1, which is the one that we need to be. And then 20% of the people who do the test who have been taking an omega-3 supplement have that average balance of 7 to 1. And then 75% of the test, people who do the test who do not take an omega-3 supplement, have that average ratio of 15 to 1 or maybe more, depending on their diet. The good news is that 95% of the people who take the test and establish their ratio and then start taking the Balance Oil products have a ratio of 3 to 1 or near that within just 120 days. Now, I find that that's an astonishingly quick result for something that has obviously been a problem for a lot of people for a long time, including myself. So why is our product so different? Well, when I looked at this, I really looked at it on every aspect, really, because I had been taking an omega-3 oil, but I'd been taking a pure fish oil. And when it was explained to me that actually the pure fish oil, they farm them and they take all the contaminants out, any toxins out that there may be present in the fish. And by the time you've got it, you may have a pure fish oil, but you actually don't have all the goodness that was actually the fish were feeding on. And the fish will be feeding on things like algae. So we have a combination of omega-3s, wild fish oil, and then the algae. And we also, I should say, we also have a vegan product as well. So even the vegans and vegetarians can be assured that they have a product that is pristine and absolutely contaminant-free, and it works. And then in addition to that, we have polyphenols, and polyphenols are derived from unripe olives. And so they're harvested around about 2 months before they're ripe enough to eat. And they come from a fantastic Spanish organic olive farm, which is lovely to know that we're looking after people in Europe as well and using their products from where the sources we can rely on. But these polyphenols are in abundance when they're underripe. So we've also got an addition of D3, vitamin D3, and that actually helps it also, not only the polyphenols help chaperone the product, if you like, the omega-3s to the cellular level to get into the system and get into the cells, but also the D3 will help it remain pristine and fresh. Because how many times have you actually had an omega-3 capsule and you get a very nasty, fishy burp taste of, repeating on you constantly? And I've had that many times and kind of thought, oh, that's really not very pleasant. And most of the reason is because it's probably rancid already before it's actually hit into your system. It takes around about 24 to 36 hours to get into that, into the cellular level. So if it hasn't got all the algae and the polyphenols and the D3, which actually keep it fresh, it will have gone rancid within literally a few hours. We're also trusted by different bodies as well. So we've got, it's actually Informed Choice, who are trusted by Sport, and we also are halal as well, and we're also GMO free, and we're proud members of the Friends of the Sea. So it's making sure that we're fishing sustainably, which is very important. So what sort of health benefits can you expect? Well, these three here, the brain function, heart and immune function, are the three key ones. And I think everyone wants to be able to assure themselves that they're actually going to continue having good brain function and heart function and immune function. Definitely for me, the heart function was a big priority for me, and I'll talk to you about that in a little while. So along with that, we have quite a few other health claims that we're approved to be able to say about our product by the EFSA, and that's the European Food Standard Authority. And they really oversee everything. So we have to abide by those rules, and these are the things that we're allowed to say about it. So normal vision, you can read them for yourselves, normal blood pressure, cell division, even through pregnancy. So perfect for someone who's pregnant to be taking it to ensure that their baby is actually getting everything it needs, and as it starts developing in the womb. And then even young babies, children, perfect for them. It's making sure that the visual development of infants actually is going to improve, and that eye and brain function for the children as well. So it's a fantastic product, absolutely amazing product, and I'm so proud that we are actually, being able to share this with you to hopefully encourage you to try it if you haven't tried it before. So how do you do that? Well, it's about finding your number, as we've mentioned. You take a test. You start using the products to nourish your body. So the oil, so I've got a Balance Oil here. So the Balance Oil, and the one that you can see in the picture is the Aqua X. And my grandkids take that. My grandchildren of 7 and 3 take that. My grandson has reacted remarkably to it, and I'll share that a little bit later as well. So you start using those products. You're going to be able to review your test results within 14 to 21 days at zinzinotest.com. And it's completely anonymous. So they don't need your name. They would need an email address if you require to be notified by email. But you put your little unique number in that you get on your card. You put that into the test results box and fill out a small form which literally wants to know your age, your height, your weight, and whether you're male or female, and which country you're living in. And again, so that they can allocate who's the worst, if you like, in the different areas. That's going to, as I say, give you your test results to 14 to 21 days. And you're going to get a 9 or 10 page report. 9 or 10 pages, that's a huge amount. And it will give you guidance about how you can improve certain areas through diet and through exercise and through nutrition. And then 4 months later, you're going to retest and you're going to see your new number. And I have to say, I didn't wait that long. I waited 90 days. I was so excited about seeing the progress of it. So I checked it at 90 days, and I'll explain what happened to me then. But if you come back on your first test at 3 to 1 or better, and as long as you are on a subscription, a monthly subscription, then you are entitled to have your money back, because obviously you don't need it. If you're in balance at 3 to 1 or better, you don't need our product, and your diet is providing everything that you do need. So that's great to know that it's a no risk for customers. That's fantastic. So let's go a little bit more about the balance oil. We've gone through an awful lot of this, so I'm not going to reread it for you. You can see that, but it's really helps adjust the body's omega-6/3 balance very, very safely. And again, supporting that normal brain and heart function and supporting the immune system. So all these things are very, very important in optimum health. Then we have a product called Extend Plus. And Extend Plus is a relatively new product. Extend is starting to be replaced by Extend Plus, and this is a all natural, 100% natural product, and it's an advanced immune and nutrient supplement, and it's absolutely brilliant. It complements perfectly with Balance Oil and Xenobiotic, and it also has 23 essential vitamins and minerals, micronutrients, phytonutrients, and it has these purified 1.3 and 1.6 beta glucans, which are now the buzzword in health and nutrition, and they're derived from baker's yeast. And you'll expect more energy. It improves your bone and joint function, improves your immune system. And what do we need now? You know, something else has been sweeping the globe as well, unfortunately. And so trying to stay as healthy as possible and have your immune system at the highest level it possibly can be is so important now. And this is all sourced from natural ingredients, and we've got 45 different health benefits that we can mention on this product. And I'm not going to go through all those 45 tonight, but it's really important to have those in place because they're needed for tissue growth and repair. So it's a great product to have within the protocol. And then the Xenobiotic. Now, Xenobiotic is a product that has literally been, I think, life-changing for so many people. And the reason being is it acts so quickly. And we know that, we were saying earlier, that our blood changes every 120 days. But, you know, we also have, you know, more things that we can add to our armory. And one of the things is gut health. Gut health is so important. I've been a big advocate for many, many years of a probiotic. But you know what? I think the prebiotic is far, far more beneficial to you because it's actually almost educating your gut to actually help colonize the gut bacteria. So it promotes healthy bowel function, which is important, reduces the feelings of bloating, and it helps balance cholesterol levels as well. But if someone is wanting to, you know, if someone is trying to lose weight, it's very, very important that can make sure that your gut health is good, because that will help reduce blood sugars, it will help balance the cholesterol. But it's also about balancing the microbiome. Your whole gut is so important, and it gives a gentle colon cleanse as well. So I love this product, and it works literally within just a few days, if not a couple of days, one day. So the health protocol, and the health protocol is what we're really suggesting people look at as I'm going through. And the reason being is this literally helps your better health start in this journey. And having that better health is so important. And the reason being is we know that our cells need it, our gut needs it, and our immune system needs it. So we're starting with that, the test and the three-pronged approach of the health protocol, which actually gently balances, restores, and boosts the body. And it's such a powerful weapon, if you like, for want of a better word. It is a weapon in my view, and it should be in everyone's cupboard, because it's changed our health so dramatically, and mine especially. Excuse me. And for me, it's the sensible thing for people to do if they're looking to get the best results in the shortest amount of time. So let's have a look at the, excuse me, I'm just going to have a drink of water. So let's have a look at the different prices of these particular two things. So the balance test by itself. So if you just wanted the oil by itself, you would actually get a balance oil kit with a test. So you can do your balance test. You get 2 bottles of the large oil, and you get 2 small travel bottles as well, which are 100 ml bottles. That all comes in a pack, and that's 149 euros. And €149 is designed because it's a 2-month supply there. You're going to get a 2-month supply. And the reason being is that, one, it's about establishing that you're going to be on a subscription for this afterwards. Your subscription is a 6-month subscription, which starts, and it's €30 a month after that. And every other month, you're going to, so you pay your shipment each month, the €30 each month, but you get a shipment of product every 2 months. And then the 4th month, you're going to get your second test, and then that will allow you to retest, as we mentioned before, and see your new results. So €30 a month, that's less than £1 a day. I mean, especially if it's 31 days in a month. So less than £1 a day to look after your health. And when you understand the results you get and understand the benefits your body's going to, kind of get from this, then it's literally, it's not even a cup of coffee. So forget your cup of coffee and have the Xeno Balance Oil instead. And we also have a health protocol kit, and that's the one I've just been through. So we've got 2 balance tests in the kit. We've got 2 balance oils of the large balance oil, and then the small balance oil as well, then 4 pieces of the Extend tablets, and then we've got 3 of the Xenobiotic in that first pack. Now, if you were to buy those individually, it would be almost €600, so €587. But the company, as I say, have discounted these dramatically so that they're affordable for everybody. So that's €239 for all those, and then a monthly subscription after that of €75 a month. Now, if you look at that pack, I mean, that is just a huge amount of product in my view. And I remember when we were purchasing our omega-3s, we were paying more than £30 a month for our omega-3s for each of us. So, this is not an expensive product. It's a product that's designed to work and is so beneficial. Let me take you through a little bit more. We also have other products, I should say. We have a fantastic serum. I haven't got one here with me, but I've got a little box of the serum samples. So the serum samples are fantastic as well. The serum is superb, and my background is as a beauty therapist, and for 20 years, and I absolutely love this product. I'm quite passionate about skincare. I'm an ex-stewardess, so I knew that the flying was drying my skin out dramatically. And I found I always used to use a good quality product, but when my daughter and I had the salons, we would check out every single company's products to see if we liked them. But this one really has taken the biscuit really, because it is so good. It tricks your skin into to thinking it's actually got damage on the surface. And so it's an amazing product. It really is amazing. We also have a couple of other products. We've already mentioned Extend. We have a product called Viva, and Viva is designed to improve your mood, better your sleep, almost acts like an antidepressant, and is based on Afron. And that one works within, not days, it works within hours for most people. So fantastic product. And then we also have a product called Protect. And guess what's running out of the doors at the moment? Protect, because people are trying to protect themselves against this virus. Protect is a fantastic product as well that can be used on a daily basis, and makes you, just ensures that your immune system is in tip-top condition. So our scientific board behind this, now Dr. Paul Clayton is the pioneer of the pharmacological effects of food and botanical ingredients, but he also wanted to know how they affect your health and physical performance. And he's such an amazing scientist, and he's the person who's formulated these products for you. And he and his team, as you can see below here, are the ones that actually ensure that those ingredients are perfect and they work synergistically together. So I am very proud to think that we as a company have such a fantastic scientific board that actually gives us such high quality 5-star products. As a customer, you're also able to get your products for free. And I think most people quite like free. I do, for sure. And how you do that, you need to have your own, as a customer, you need to have your own subscription for your favorite Zinzino product. So that could be just the balance oil. And if it's the balance oil, then you just need to recommend 4 friends to do the same and have the, so as long as it's 4 times your own volume order, then you would get your products for free. And we also have a fantastic little app on our phone, which every day we can press, and I'm just going to bring it up for you so I can show you. So it comes up with a little heart on it, and it will come up and say, have you taken your balance oil? You can set the time of day and you just click it. And you get a point every time you do that. So that's really quite cool. I'm up to 320 days now. And you go through different things, and they offer little gifts every now and then, and it'll be product. But so when you get to 365 days as a customer, you can actually have your products shipped for free as well. So you might not only have your products for free because you've recommended people, but you can get free shipping as well. Now, my product story, for those of you who haven't heard, 2 years ago, Christmas, I had a heart attack, which was a bit of a shock to me. I've never been ill a day in my life. I've never taken drugs. I've never taken any medication, not had antibiotics, penicillin, and anything like that. I had a heart attack at 63 and on my grandson's birthday, and ended up with 3 stents. 1 stent because I had a partial blockage, and then the other 2 stents were precautionary because I have got very narrow arteries. I came out of hospital with an enormous bag of drugs, and the surgeon who had seen me, Professor Tibbins, has said to me, well, these are your drugs. And I'm going, okay, is there anything I can take that's alternative? Because I'm very much more a holistic alternative person. And he said, love, just forget it. You need to have drugs now. And he said, you just have to get used to it. And I was really not very happy. And I said, is there anything I can do alternatively that I can do the same job as the drugs? He said, no. I said, okay. So I had the pleasure of meeting Paul Clayton in Barcelona when Dave, Nigel and myself were invited down to meet Marco and Marco Passanante and some of the corporate and team and some of the leading distributors. And I'm ever thankful for that, because I had the pleasure of sitting next to Paul Clayton at dinner after the event, and he asked me a question why I was here. So I told him my story. He said to me, well, I think I can get you off those drugs within 6 months. And all of a sudden my ears pricked up and I was really listening now. I said, okay, tell me more. And I hadn't joined at this stage, I should have. I had done my test, I was waiting for my results, but I hadn't started on the product. And so I was a bit shocked when he'd said that. So he explained how it would work. He said, as you start to get into balance, you're going to find that your blood pressure comes down and starts to, kind of reduce quite dramatically. And so I said, fine, okay. And I used to wear a heart monitor on my wrist constantly, so I'd constantly be aware of what was happening in my system. And over the space of 3 months, 2.5, 3 months, my blood pressure continued to come down from around about 140/85 down to, at the lowest, it came down to 112/60. You said when it comes to 112/60, you need to start reducing your medication, which I did over a space of about 3 or 4 weeks. Now, this was with his consultation, so my own doctor doesn't actually know me; he's never seen me, so I didn't really want to listen to what he said. But that was my decision, I should point out. But I did confer with Paul Clayton as to what I should do. Over the space of 4 weeks, I managed to come off my drugs, reduce them gradually, and then come off my drugs. And I have never felt better. My blood pressure's at a normal level, most of the time. Occasionally it rises, but not excessively. So I'm much happier. I feel so much better in myself. I had tended to put on a lot of weight since I had been on the drugs. And now when I came off them, and I think with the combination of the balance oil, I dropped 23 pounds within those first 3-4 months. And so that was a big shock because I hadn't changed my diet in any way, shape or form. I'd had a Mediterranean diet, and the only assumption I can make personally is that, and I maybe tell me if I'm wrong, anyone, is that the omega-3 in my body was now, the essential fatty acids were actually now working as they should do, and making sure that I was using any food and nutrition that I had as fuel, as opposed to kind of ending it on my tum and my bum. So that's really mine. My osteoarthritis has gone in my knee after about 4 weeks, so I'm happy days about that. I can walk again without any pain. My grandchildren, my grandson was not ADHD, but very, very hyperactive, and was having meltdowns regularly. We asked my daughter to put him on the Aqua X, and she did so, and she said, "I'll do anything, Mum, because I'm at the end of my tether now. I'm going to have to take him to the doctors." And I went, "Oh, please don't." So she put him on the Aqua X, and within 4 to 6 weeks, he'd become the delightful little boy that he always is anyway, and his concentration levels have gone up. And it just makes so much sense when you understand how omega-3 works in your body. It's just amazing. So that's my story and my grandson's. So I'm just going to share with you my test. And my test originally came back at on the 28th of May. So it's nearly a year, at 14.4 to 1. And what frightened me most was the fact that I had zero protection from my essential fatty acids. And I had been taking an omega-3 supplement for 30 plus years. And so I was really quite horrified. And you can see how my cell membrane is 10.7. It should be below 4.1. So that cell membrane is hardened. So it wasn't doing any good, really. And my mental strength was 3.6. It should be below 1.1. Again, that's not as bad as I've seen some others people, but I was horrified that it was that bad for me. And then this is my second test, or my third test. My second test was 4.4 to 1 at 90 days, and I haven't put that in here. But that it was starting to creep towards, and I was like, wow, it's really working. And within 90 days, 3 months, and it had gone from 14.4 to 4.4. And so I left it another couple of months, and that was then the 28th. It's bizarre, the 28th of the 10th. So exactly 5 months from the time I started. And my fatty acids protection has gone up to 72%. Still room for improvement, don't get me wrong. My 3 to 6 or my 6 to 3 ratio is 3.6 to 1. And my cell membrane fluidity is 5.2, so I've still got a little bit of way to go to get it into the green. But my mental health, mental strength, and through my omega-6s is 1.4, so very close to being green. I've just done a fourth test just literally last Friday, so I'm waiting for the results of that, and I will happily share that with you. But I feel so much more relieved that at 65 that I've actually got this protection now in my system, and I'm healthier than I've ever been for a long, long time. And hopefully, you know, people will decide to take the test themselves and actually get on the protocol or the balanced soil. And it's really making those decisions that, and it's trying to, in Zeno's profile says it's inspiring change in life. And it does make huge changes in people's lives. You know, we've seen so many remarkable differences in people and testimonials from people that who've been on the products. And the lovely thing is that the company loves to hear those stories. They love to be able to help someone get their product for free. So if that's you and you'd like to get onto the program, onto the products, take your test, find out your ratio, then what I suggest you do is you go back to the person who invited you to the call tonight and ask them, how do I take this test? And get yourself registered as a customer, and we look forward to hearing your story. So I'm going to stop sharing now. So thank you very much. Hang on a minute, I've got to do a bit of jiggery pokery here. Oh gosh, where's my, so I'm going to stop sharing now. Hopefully that's been of interest to you tonight, and I really look forward to seeing you at another presentation and some other time. And please get back to the person who asked you to come to the meeting today, and look forward to seeing you soon. My name is Sue Booth and I'm executive with Zinzino. Thank you.